When new tech hits the market, I do get a little bit skeptical when a version 2 comes out soon after. And in the case of the Steam Deck, we published our original Steam Deck review back in March 2022. And now we've just got our hands on a brand new Steam Deck Oled, which has released maybe a year and a half or so after the original Steam Deck. And in this video, I wanted to cover the differences between the two and the types of performances you can come to expect from a bunch of random games I've picked. Now, this isn't the Steam Deck 2 or a massive overhaul of tech or even a next generation console or anything like that. It's the same configuration really, with a few slight differences. Now, a big question though, which I will answer straight off the bat, is whether it is worth upgrading if you've already got an original Steam Deck. Well, no, not really for the price. You're not going to be getting a huge change to warrant it. But if you're a Steam Deckless, yeah, that's a term, then which version is worth buying? Well, the OLED one for sure. As everyone has probably guessed already, and of course you've probably seen all the videos on YouTube about it already, the biggest difference between the Steam Deck and the OLED version is, that's right, the OLED screen, and it will give you a much better contrast as well as HDR capabilities on your games. It has 1000 nits of brightness and a nice wide color gamut, a beefy contrast ratio, and some really nice inky blacks. And I must say, over the original deck, the screen just absolutely pops, and there is a really nice separation of color and contrast now, which to be honest with you was most notable for me anyway when playing some Doom Eternal. Some of the enemy types in that game on the original deck just blended into the scenery for me and my eyesight, which isn't the best anyway. But with the OLED version of the Steam Deck, the enemies just popped and it was a lot easier to take them out. When it came to gaming though, it was pretty obvious most of the time the differences between the two Steam Decks, but there were instances, like with Miles Morales for example, that it just didn't make much of a difference during certain scenes, especially when zipping around New York. However, if you're playing some Ori and the Will of the Wisps, my gosh, that game just looked awesome, and the inky blacks of the Steam Deck OLED just made it shine so much. Hollow Knight, again too, due to the nature of the game, it's very dark, and Hollow Knight itself, or the character you play in Hollow Knight, is just super white and blown out, and the contrast again here just looked absolutely amazing. And I will say that when I showed some friends the differences between the two screens, their feedback was that the OLED screen made the games feel like they've come to life, whereas the original deck screen made the games look very flat and dead. Even older titles like Fable Anniversary, which by the way, if you haven't played it, is a fantastic game by Lionhead Studios, RIP. And the OLED version made Bowstone and the surrounding area look a lot more vivid and bright and colourful, where the backlight bleed almost hurt it a bit from the original Steam Deck screen. Let us know in the comments if there's any other games on Steam that you would like to see on the Steam Deck OLED screen, and we'll try and get the video made for you, or at least a YouTube short. And as I said, I just handpicked a small handful of games for this video as a demonstration. So what else is new between the two? Well, the screen is a little bigger on the OLED version, coming in at 7.4 inches over the 7-inch screen on the original. And it's also a little bit lighter, in fact, which was a little strange to feel when first opening the OLED deck. Screen resolution of 1280 by 800 is exactly the same between the two, though the OLED deck is capable of a refresh rate of 90Hz over the max 60Hz of the original deck. Dimensions though are exactly the same, so if you felt comfortable using the original Steam Deck, then you'll feel right at home here as well, although it is lighter and a little bit nicer in the hands. So the new Steam Deck OLED has a 50 watt-hour battery over the 40 watt-hour battery of the original deck. They've reduced the APU processor from 7 nanometers to 6 nanometers and improved the thermals and heat pipes and all that kind of jazz, which makes the OLED deck a little quieter. Now, okay, in real life, this isn't really going to make a huge amount of difference to your battery life. You're not going to be gaming on this thing all day, but you can expect maybe an extra hour or so depending on the demand of the game you're playing. Cyberpunk, of course, much less so because that game is hugely demanding. For something like Dave the Diver, which is a nice indie title that's just been released, or not just been released, but you know what I mean, would last a lot longer on the Steam Deck OLED. Now, as I said in the intro, this thing isn't the Steam Deck 2, far from it. And if you've already got yourself an original Steam Deck, it's not really worth upgrading at this point, I don't think. Though, however, if you are looking to purchase a new Steam Deck, then definitely go for the OLED version over the original, as the changes that we've outlined here make that extra cost just so much worth it in the long run. I will also say that there have been some changes to their pricing structure. According to the Steam Steam website, the original 64 gig and 512 gig are no longer available. Stocks unfortunately have run out and have been superseded by the OLED versions. So now in their lineup is a 256 gig original Steam Deck version at £349, a 512 gigabyte OLED version at £479, which by the way is just so much cheaper than the original 512 deck cost on release. And finally, a brand new 1TB OLED version coming in at £569. So the only question is, which one are you going to choose? Thank you very much for checking out this Steam Deck OLED video. If you did enjoy it, please hit that like button, subscribe to keep up with our latest tech and gaming videos, and also let us know in the comments down below, which Steam Deck would you choose? Have you got a Steam Deck already, or which games are you going to be playing over the Christmas break this year? Also, there is a playlist here for other Steam Deck videos that you can check out on our channel. And as I say, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.